Hello, everybody, and welcome. So nice to be here with you this morning. My name is Gabriela Cubeiro. I'm the CEO and co-founder of CASEpeer. And with me today is Mike Melis, the Director of Partnerships of Kenect. Welcome, Mike.
Well, glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So today we are talking about an integration that is coming very soon to CASEpeer. We've got it in beta right now. And Kenect, for those of you that may not know, is a reputation management and business texting platform. And they're used by thousands of law firms across North America, probably some of you, considering you are here and probably curious about what this integration means for all of us. So really quick, for those of you that aren't familiar with CASEpeer, we are the #1 rated legal software built for personal injury law firms. And we're essentially a comprehensive practice management suite with intake management, case management, automation, document management, reporting, and obviously, which is something we take very seriously, free and unlimited training and support. So with that, I want to hand it over to you, Mike. I'd love to hear more about Kenect and what you guys do. And in the meantime, everyone, ask questions, throw them into chat or into the questions box over on the right-hand side. I'll be monitoring those throughout the webinar, and we'll make sure to address all those before we wrap today.
Awesome. So excited to be here, and we're so excited about this partnership and integration. Gabriela, you and I have been talking about this, I think, for a little bit now, and we're excited to actually get it out there to the marketplace. But so today, I think the goal is we want to introduce you to Kenect, who we are, why our two organizations have gotten together to bring a joint solution that we think adds a lot of value to customers and law firms out there in the space. So to get started, a little bit about Kenect. We are a text messaging platform that's built specifically for law firms. We have firms throughout North America using our product. And our tool is really, if you think about Kenect, there's really kind of 4 keys to what we do. One is we help firms communicate more efficiently. So lots of firms kind of have tried text messaging in the past. Sometimes with their case management system, sometimes, they may have some functionality there. They may have tried it on their personal cell phones, and that's sometimes a little bit challenging because people are texting you on your personal number at 11:59 at night. But ours is texting through your main phone number. We take that main phone number and help you communicate with your clients through that number that's on your business cards and your website, on billboards. We also help you generate leads through your website. So we add a texting widget right to your website. We'll touch base on that. I know a lot of you on the line here today probably don't collect a lot of payments from clients, but if you do, as in the course of your business, if you do non-contingency cases and you need to collect payments, we can help facilitate that through text messaging. We have a really nice partnership with LawPay to help facilitate that as well. And then lastly, managing online reputation. One of the things we really help law firms do through text messaging is actually gather and manage their online reviews and their reputation. So we'll touch base on that. But that's really the heart of what we do at Kenect. Let me click on the right screen here. But just a couple interesting things about text messaging. So a lot of your customers really actually prefer text messaging as the main form of communication. Pew Research did a study recently, and they found that 89% of us would prefer to interact with businesses over text message. Your clients are really no different. Probably most of you on the phone here today, probably on the line, probably have your phone sitting here with you, and you probably have unread email messages, but you probably have very few, if any, unread text messages. And if one came through, you probably would answer it. You probably wouldn't take a phone call right now, but you probably would answer that text message. And that's why 98% of text messages are opened and 95% are read within 3 minutes. So it's a really timely form of communication with your clients. And most of us find, phone calls to be disruptive. Most of the phone calls that I get nowadays are either people trying to sell me lists because I'm in marketing, or people that I don't want to talk to. So those text messages are a really great way to communicate with your clients. And we see firms use text messaging in some really interesting ways, right? So everything from, it's a great way to schedule appointments and consultations with your clients. You can streamline your intake process. A lot of the firms that use Kenect actually even just send a really simple intake questionnaire over text message. When those clients reach out for the first time over text, you can actually continue that intake process over text message. It's a great way to send and receive case updates from clients. If you do need to collect fees or send invoices, it's really simple over a text message, and that open rate leads to actually getting paid because we make it really simple. But you can actually even start video chat with clients right from a link, right from, kind of one click from a text message. You can send and receive almost anything that you would normally send and are currently sending over an email. You can do that through text message as well. So, photos, videos, PDFs, attachments, documents, it can all be sent to clients through a text message. And it's a great way to manage that online reputation, which we all know now is just ever more critical for law firms as you're out there fighting for the same business that everyone else in your market is. Having that great reputation really helps drive more traffic to you and your firm and your website. So, and this is, if you were to look at a Kenect, a firm that's using Kenect today, one of the things you'll notice on the bottom of their website is that little text us button right there. So you'll see that. And what that does is that allows that firm to give their clients one more methodology for their clients to reach out. Not every one of us is going to pick up the phone and make a phone call to a firm. For some of us, that's a little intimidating. For others, filling out that contact us form is not the right methodology either, but giving them another form to communicate is a really great option, and it makes it really simple for them. And when they do that, it dramatically increases the number of leads that firms are actually capturing on their website, because firms tend to historically have a really high bounce rate on their websites. People come, you spend a lot of money and time trying to get people to your website. They get there, but they don't engage. And giving them one more methodology to do that, in this case, you see, this is an example of one of the firms that uses Kenect. They saw a dramatic increase in the number of leads that are actually engaging and sharing their name, mobile number, and a message asking for help, right? And when they do that, it's a really simple process on their side. So we make it simple and easy. In this case, this is what it looks like if one of those clients clicks that text us button. It's simple. In this case, this firm has a few different areas of practice, but they click, in this case, let's just say they have a personal injury case or issue they're working on. All they've got to do is enter a name, their mobile number, and a message. And now they get an automated message back from you that says something to the effect of, hey, thanks for reaching out. Let us, we're happy to help. Someone will be in touch with you very shortly. But they get an automated message back, and you're the first, you're in this business, the first one to respond and help usually earns that business, usually gets that client. And so it makes it really simple for them. And on your side, you have a really nice inbox, right? So if you think about, your Outlook inbox or your Gmail inbox, you've got it's all in one nice spot, all those messages. Think of this as your text inbox. So all those messages that kind of go back and forth with clients are in one spot. And by the way, all of these messages now flow directly into CASEpeer, right? This integration really makes it nice. So all this information, all those conversations that you may have been having on your phone with a client, texting them that way, never make it in. But here inside of Kenect, they do. They become part of that client record. And as well, there's a really nice mobile version of that inbox as well. So whether you're sitting in front of your computer here in this version, or you're out and about, you're sitting in court, you're at home, you're out and about in between meetings, you can still see and respond to those messages. Or your intake team, for example, handles those first messages that come in, and they might get then assigned out to an attorney paralegal team later. But it's all in one nice inbox, whether it's at your desk or on your phone here, but not intermingled with your personal messages, right? And these are all coming over the number you've been using for years, right? And you can see we also have an integration with Facebook Messenger. So some of these might be Facebook or Instagram messages that come into that same inbox as well. So really nice. We can integrate your tools there as well.
That's a really neat touch. I didn't know you guys did that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and as you were helping manage those online reputations, that's a big piece of that as well, because you're already integrating, you're already communicating with them on platforms where they may leave you reviews, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And lots of people think about text messaging and they think, oh, well, Do I have to type out every message? Are there other tools? And the answer is yes. So we're overlaying some really nice tools on top of a technology that you're already familiar with, your customers are familiar with. But on your side, you've got really nice tools like templated messages and quick replies, or if you want to ask a client to leave you a review, it's one click. You want to send photos or request a payment, or even schedule a meeting, schedule a message to go out at a later date. Maybe you want to remind a client about something in a week, you can do that. Or even start a video chat with one click. Get a client, kind of move on from those initial, real quick back and forth text messages into, hey, why don't we jump on a quick video chat and talk through your case? So you can do that right from a text message and make it a simple process for your clients. And if you do collect payments, for those of you on the phone who may need that functionality, it's really simple. As you saw here, it's one click away from a message. You're in a message, you can just hit request a payment, and all you've got to do is click that request payment, fill out a few details, and the client gets a link to make that payment. So right inside of a text message. So they don't have to really, it shortens that, effectively it shortens the time to pay. And if you have a LawPay account, we'll just integrate directly with, we'll hook your LawPay account up to this, and it's really a seamless process. But I want to step into kind of one of the last pieces that we really help with here at Kenect, which is reviews, and why they matter and why you should be thinking about them and how to make them really easy using this integration. One, and two, how to make that part of your process. But reviews really matter for your clients. We've all been trained by Amazon and Yelp and everyone else to look at reviews before we try a new restaurant or before we buy something on Amazon. It's really no different for selecting a firm to help you with maybe one of the biggest challenges you've ever faced in your life, right? So you're reaching out for help. You're looking for that attorney to help you with that. They're going to look at reviews before they pick you, right? And so 93% of your clients are looking at reviews before they engage with you. 91% now trust online reviews as much as those friends and family, that word of mouth that we used to just all rely on. And 87% say they won't consider a firm with low online ratings. So they really matter to your clients. And this is where they're probably finding you, right? You may or may not be managing this, but you probably have a Google My Business profile, and that effectively lets Google show firms near that client, right? So if someone types in, hey, personal injury attorney near me, this is what pops up. It's called Google's Map Pack. And Google's job is really to display the best results, right? That's what they want to do all the time. But in order to do that, they've got to have good data, and they really rely on reviews for that. So this Harvard Business Review did a little study on this, and they found that this page here, so if someone types in personal injury attorney near me, this happens to be in Columbia, South Carolina, this gets 5 times more views than your website. And so what effectively that means is they're probably landing here before they get to your website. And so what they found is improving your reviews can lead to a 5 to 9% increase in revenue. Even just a 1-star review really impacts a law firm. And negative reviews on the other side really can affect whether they just jump past you. If they see, and everybody's going to get negative reviews. We do a lot of webinars about negative reviews. So if you listen and tune in and follow Kenect, we do a lot of content around that because everyone has them. But negative reviews are costly. So we want to do everything we can to make that simple and easy to get great reviews, because your clients are looking for these 4 things in reviews. They want to see quality, they want to see great reviews, they want to see that they're recent, that they're not, you didn't just go out and get reviews, 6 months ago and you haven't really, no one said anything great about you since then. There's a minimum threshold of at least 50 to be deemed kind of non-friends and family. And then they want to see what you have to say about reviews in response to those reviews. So if something good or bad, you responding to those reviews is really important, because beyond looking at those first 3 things, they're going to look at what you said in response to what others have said, because it gives them a little insight into your organization and how their relationship might look as well if they choose to engage with you. But reviews can be a little challenging for firms. Some firms kind of take an organic approach and they say, hey, let's, hopefully our best clients will just do it out of the goodness of their hearts. And the reality is they probably won't. The ones that probably will be those clients that maybe didn't have the best experience, right? And that's not who you want representing you. So we want to make this really, really simple for your clients to leave great feedback for you, because you all have amazing clients. And you don't want those one or two stinkers to be the ones that are representing you and your, kind of the great services you're providing to your clients. But it's hard to get clients to leave reviews without asking them effectively. There's got to be a really natural space for you to ask them for that. And inside of Kenect, it's really as simple as kind of 3 simple steps. You have a little conversation with them. Hey, there's a natural point in the relationship. Hey, we're so grateful. We're happy we were able to wrap this issue up for you. Would you mind leaving us a review? If they say yes, click that link to send them a review. It's kind of one click on your side. It sends them this text message, and it could say anything you want. But hey, thanks for being a great client. Would you, click this link to leave us a review? They decide where they want to leave it, and then all they've got to do is fill out the number of stars. How many stars they want to leave in a quick sentence or two, and you end up with really great reviews from your best clients, from clients that really represent you and your, the service and the value that you provide.
That's so frictionless, Mike. It's awesome.
And that's the key, right? That's the whole key to the process, is to make it simple for them. Because if it's not, because I'm sure, Gabriela, you've probably been asked to leave a review or even fill out a survey, and it came in through an email, and you maybe had good intentions, but when was the last time you actually went and filled one out without a little bit of prodding?
It's been a while. And I mean, and look, this, but for our audience, like, obviously, because at CASEpeer, we serve so many personal injury law firms. It's such a competitive space. Reviews are everything. So this reputation management piece is like, that's just been something I've been super excited about, to make sure people know that Kenect's out there and that options like this exist for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we agree. And I think texting is really, I'll speak to this in a moment, but sending the review via text is significantly different than asking them in person or even sending them an email. So, read rates with email are just consistently getting a little more challenging, but people read their text messages. And so asking them over text is a great way to get a lot of people to actually engage. On their
phone right then and there. They can do it over at a red light or in the drive-through or like during a commercial break, during a game. Like, it's so easy versus, I mean, like, I don't read emails anymore. Not like my personal emails. My work emails I read, but you know what I mean? Like, my Gmails I just don't get valuable emails anymore. I think that's the exact reality.
That's the challenge.
Is that personal inboxes are just getting overloaded with, advertising.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that, and this is really a way to kind of cut through that clutter and get to your clients, right? And that's the whole goal with text messaging in general. But I think, as you mentioned, anytime you take friction out of the process, you're going to get better results. And that's really the goal here with kind of our focus on reviews. And I think just kind of a last little tidbit on the reviews, and we're going to jump into the integration here. But really, what we've seen, firms that really get successful with their reviews, there's a couple of things that kind of shine through. One, they take control of that process, because the hope for the best model, just it ends up, you end up with, because if you have a few negative reviews, that's okay. But if it's 2 out of 10, that's not going to look great. If it's 2 out of 200, that's okay, right? Everybody's going to have that, and clients can see through that. But without taking control of the process and really getting your best clients to advocate for you, you're going to end up with metrics that don't look great, right? And so Build a repeatable process. Find a really nice spot in your relationship with clients that's natural, that happens every time. We're actually working on one additional piece to our integration that'll actually make this even easier for you. Like, I don't want to spill the tea, but it's coming. We're adding one more piece here that's going to actually automate some of this for you and make this even easier. But send it over a text message. It's 35 times more effective to collect a review over a text message. So, and then use them, right? Use them in your other marketing as well. And then last slide, and we'll jump into the integration, but just a couple of interesting things that we find, impact of using text messaging throughout a law firm. There's some really interesting areas that it impacts your business, right? The first is we see a huge increase in the number of leads that firms actually capture now because people are engaging through that text messaging functionality. A huge decrease in the number of voicemails, right? Because your team sends and receives a lot of voicemails every day. And on both sides, there's just a lot of that phone tag. So it can save up to 45 minutes a day for your paralegals and staff. It's just, people are in meetings, they're busy. They will respond to a text message in a meeting, and they can. They probably won't, that voicemail gets kind of set aside, and you get to it when you can get to it. Texting is a little much more timely form of communication. If you do need to collect payments, it's 85% faster over a text message. But the reviews are really, really big as well there. We see about a 300% increase in most firms in the first 3 to 6 months of the number of positive reviews they're receiving for their firm. So a couple of areas where we see some big impact for law firms. And I know, and that's my last slide. So I'm gonna stop sharing here because I know we want to jump into the integration and let Gabby kind of walk you through a couple of the pieces here of how our two systems talk to each other, which we're super excited about.
Absolutely. So give me a second here. So all right, we'll go ahead and jump in. And quick reminder here to just let, if you guys have any questions as we're going through it, please put them in chat. We'll answer them as we go, or we'll wrap them up at the end here. But a quick overview of the integration. Retained clients are going to be syncing over to Kenect automatically. So if they come into CASEpeer separate from a Kenect lead or something like that, that information will be passed through to Kenect. So if you want to use Kenect as your text messaging platform, you can do that really easily. Those Kenect conversations are going to post to case notes directly into CASEpeer. So as you have messaging happening in Kenect, a record of that is on the case. So again, you're going to have a beautiful client communication record in CASEpeer, and actually some of those incoming text messages from clients, we're looking at tagging those also as client communication. So it'll update those client communication dates. Now leads, right? That's a big thing. Mike, you spent a lot of time talking about that widget. So widgets are going to be added as leads into CASEpeer, and we'll take a look at what that's all going to look like. All right, so how are you going to activate this once it's available? So for those of you that are admins in your accounts, you'll probably be very well familiar by now with your account settings. But if you haven't navigated to that before, account settings, then we have an integration section at the bottom of that page. And you're just going to go, when this is a new integration, you'll see an activate button. And then once it's live, you'll be able to go in and manage settings and tweak from there. And it's just essentially an exchange of API keys, and either of our support teams will be able to coach you on that. So let's talk about kind of some of the basics, right? So as I said, those retained cases. So once you get in a case, it's a client you want to be communicating with, that'll get automatically synced over to Kenect. And then conversations are going to be saving into case notes. Here's an example. And they're going to be directed to the primary contact on the case. Let's see. We do have a question here, Mike. I'll log that over to you. So if I have texting through VoIP with an app, and I'd like to change to Kenect with my current number so it imports and syncs better to CASEpeer, is that something you guys are able to help with?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a great question, Scott. I think two responses to that. And if you're using a VoIP provider, we work with lots of different telecom providers, and effectively we we reach out to that VoIP provider and add that text functionality to the number. So yes, and if you reach out, we're going to have a number that'll pop up at the end here. If you want to reach out to me there, we can actually contact you and communicate real quickly, take your number, and we have a tool that'll actually test that and tell you, what's going to happen and how we would do that. So really simply, short answer, yes, but we can actually test it and tell you exactly how that'll work. So reach out to me specifically there. And then the second portion there was what happens with the chat function on my current app. I don't know. Reach out to me specifically because I'm not sure who your provider is, but reach out and we'll talk through your specific scenario there. One of our team members can explicitly kind of lay out the details of what happens with the app. It probably won't go away there, but we'll add text functionality that'll flow into Kenect and into CASEpeer is the short answer there.
And I'll take another question here from Stephanie. Great question, which we anticipated. So if you're already using texting in CASEpeer and you choose to integrate, it doesn't override. You can continue to use both. There's plenty of firms that probably use Kenect primarily on the intake side, and then might use CASEpeer texting on the case management side. There's no rules. Those two functionalities can exist together at the same time. And every firm will kind of find their own way that's right for them. Mike, would you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's exactly right. We have, we are integrated with a few other case management systems that have similar situations where there's some texting functionality. They use it. They may use that functionality for certain things, but kind of the inbound and the intake piece is handled through Kenect in many cases, because that widget really adds a lot of functionality.
And the review component.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Does everything follow over? So Aaliyah, yeah. So the way that it's designed is essentially any of the communication that's happening on those cases are going to be, with those clients where we have a match in CASEpeer or a connection in CASEpeer, all of that communication is going to be saved to the case. I don't know, Mike, if you see Jim's question, that's a really good one. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, Jim said he's on the board with a local bar association. They just signed up the bar association with Kenect. Will any of our members that are getting an account as part of the membership have a separate account to integrate with CASEpeer? It would be if your bar association has a relationship with Kenect, it's not going to change the account at Kenect. If you have Kenect and CASEpeer, we would just need to tie the two together. And we're going to talk through that, kind of how that process works in just a slide or two here. So we'll show you that. It's really simple. But no, so it shouldn't affect that. If you're signing up through a bar association, that's fine. We're just going to tie the two together to make them talk.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll keep going here. Keep sending in those questions. I've got an eye on them. We had one question regarding documents, things like that. Right now, we're bringing just conversations over. Mike, client documents, are clients ever sending you things via Kenect as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do get quite a bit coming in, whether it's, images or documents. At the moment, we're not automatically pushing those in, but that's something I think we're looking at in version 2 of the integration.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But absolutely. And by the way, Jim's saying thanks on that question. If you have any questions, Jim, feel free to reach out to me. Myself and another member of my team can definitely make sure we know how to explain that to your members for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about leads. And then again, don't be shy. If I haven't answered your question, we'll definitely get to it. So as Mike, you talked about this, you showed us that beautiful widget, which is astounding. And those statistics you have are really incredible. So any of those extra 260% of leads would feed into the leads management screen. This is something that, again, you would just turn on in settings. Not every firm needs it, so we don't display it unless you just turn it on in CASEpeer. But if you're using leads from, other chat integrations, things like that, you probably already have it on. And that's where all of these leads can go in, or our Zapier integration will also drive leads there. So they just show up with Kenect. You can easily convert them to a case. and retain or reject from there. So very cool. And again, gives you peace of mind that all of those leads are getting followed up on, especially if you're aggregating other leads in CASEpeer. You do want all of those leads going to one place. Mike, anything to add on that one?
No, I think, yeah, that the tool really makes it simple to capture leads on your website. And I think that's kind of the main point that I would just love to echo is giving your clients one more way to connect with you and make it really simple for them is always a good idea, right? And so I think, having them flow directly into CASEpeer is fantastic, and it makes it simple for your client and for your team. And I think that's, anytime you can do that is always a win in my mind.
Perfect. So obviously we're anticipating this question. No one's asked it yet, but I think I addressed it head on. So it's in beta right now. It will be available though in the next 2 weeks. So it's hot off the presses here. So stay tuned. But Mike, I mean, if people are interested in Kenect, they could reach out to you guys today, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So typically, and I think one quick fine point on that. So we have clients out there in beta right now, but if you on the Kenect side, if you are interested in learning more, even if you reached out and said, hey, Mike, I would like to start today, by the time we've got numbers converted and everybody trained, the integration will be in full release. So you would get it in, by the time you were up and running. So that beta, we're kind of at the tail end of that beta, ready to push this out. So we're excited about this for sure.
Perfect. Awesome. I love it. And then tell us a little bit about where people can learn more about Kenect. And again, we have some questions too after that we'll get to.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Kenect.com is probably the easiest way to get to us. We love text messaging. So if you want to reach out and you can call or text us on that number right there. We would love to hear from you and answer any questions that you may have. But either of those are a great place to reach out and learn more and ask any questions that you may have, or if you have specific scenarios that you are kind of, or questions that you kind of want to talk through that might be specific to your firm, we'd love to hear from you.
Perfect. We have Taylor asking about billing structure with Kenect. Is that a question that depends, or is that something that you could talk about here on the webinar?
So it depends. So I will touch on it briefly, but it depends on a couple of things. It depends on one, the size of your firm. So how many locations you have, and a couple other features. So reach out to us. It's a very reasonable monthly number. So for most firms, it really makes a lot of sense. It's nothing that would break the bank. It's just a simple addition. So reach out to us and we'll talk you through and understand a little bit more about your firm. But it's nothing that's going to kind of blow your socks off.
You guys are really plugging into a firm's ecosystem and bring obviously a tremendous amount of value. So
absolutely. Yep.
Fabulous. Well, obviously you guys are going to think of questions in 5 minutes, no doubt. So when those questions come, this is how you can reach out to Mike. We've got his email on here and that phone number too on the prior screen. Mike, anything to add or any last thoughts?
No, I think just final thoughts. We're really excited about this relationship and partnership with CASEpeer. We've been working with you guys for, I think, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, just in we're together at all the same meetings and trade shows and all that. And so we're really excited about the partnership and to be part of your ecosystem and work with, all the great customers and clients that you guys have. And we're excited to bring you into the Kenect family as well. So anybody, so love to hear from any of you all. If you have questions, concerns, thoughts, just fire away. Would love to hear from you.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing I'll say is that, again, we, as Mike alluded to, we work with a lot of different people. And I've just always been so impressed by everyone on the Kenect team. When you go to these conferences, we meet, hundreds of other legal companies. And it's just, you guys have a extraordinary ethos that I think really resonates with the way that we like to operate CASEpeer. You're very client forward.
Absolutely.
You provide excellent support, and I really admire that about what you guys do, and makes me happy to bring you into the CASEpeer family as a new partner.
Love it, and we echo that. I think we both operate in the same fashion. I think we're so customer centric, just like you all are, and I think that shines through. And I think that's why just a really good fit. Our two solutions together, I think, just great fit for everybody involved. So we're excited.
Absolutely. All right. Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining. Please reach out to Mike. If you have any questions, you can also reach out to me. And again, that integration is going to be showing up in your account settings here in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for those of you that are already mutual clients. And our respective support teams will be available to support you as well once that's fully live to all of our users. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.